Hey everybody, Ronnie Petito with Petito's Performance Training Center, and today I'm going to talk to you about understanding your body type. As we all know, we're all different, and there's three main body types that all have their different own unique characteristics that both have advantages and disadvantages. So if you understand what kind of body type you actually have, you can fast track your way towards your goals a little bit easier because you'll know where you're lacking and where your strengths are. So you can improve on your weaknesses and really also rely on your strengths as well as you go through this. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a chart, and then I'll go over a little bit more in depth on why it's important. So ectomorph. An ectomorph is a smaller person. So their bone structure smaller, and they naturally have a low body fat percentage. Okay? So these are smaller people, and usually you find them, you find these kind of people everywhere, but if we're talking about athletes, if you were to think about something, like a soccer player or a long distance runner, they're all ectomorph, right? They're skinnier, they have a low body fat percentage, you can see their abs, but you can see they're not like blocked up, they're there, and there's a lot of veins, and because they have that low body fat percentage, but they're also very skinny, they don't have a big bone structure. So someone like a David Beckham, who's got a good body frame, but at the same time isn't really a big guy. So someone like that, just to give you guys an idea. Now, as far as their metabolism, obviously an ectomorph metabolism is very fast. These are the people that you see just crushing food all the time, and they never gain any weight whatsoever. This is all the girls, these are your friends that you're mad at that are tall and skinny, that you're like, why do you always eat this stuff and you never gain weight, and you get all mad. These are the ectomorphs we're talking about. Now, body fat percentage. Body fat percentage, what we're talking about here is how well do we lose it? Because, even ectomorphs can be a skinny fat, right? If you haven't worked out or exercised and you're eating unhealthy, even though your body can handle it because you have a really fast metabolism, an ectomorph can still gain some body fat percentage. But if they start working out, eating correctly, it drops very quickly. So easily drops quickly body fat percentage in ectomorph body type. So, but the problem with an ectomorph body type, as much as it drops the body fat percentage, it's very, very hard to pick up muscle because we got such a small bone structure and small frame. So, hard to add on muscle. But once again, as we have a fast metabolism, how do we intake carbs as an ectomorph? We intake carbs very well. Our body can deal with them very well, so we're able to process them. Alright, so mesomorph. A mesomorph is more like that five-tool athlete that you're thinking about, they're a big guy, but they're also fast, strong, they can jump through the roof. All these things that develop good athlete traits. If you're thinking like a superstar, like a LeBron James in basketball, would be a perfect example of a mesomorph. So a bone structure, we have a mesomorph has a fairly large bone structure, and naturally, once again, they have a lower body fat percentage. Naturally, just because their bodies, you pick up more muscle, but you have a little bit bigger bone structure, but you still have a low body fat percentage. Like I said, like a LeBron James, able to do everything, have that five-tool athlete, build, whether you're an athlete or not. Metabolism is fast, not as fast as an ectomorph, but still pretty dang fast because we're able to process all this food. And as an athlete, as far as like a LeBron James or somebody like that, you got to be thinking that their diet, even though it's healthy stuff, they're consuming a lot. Body fat percentage. Once again, another bone structure, another body type that actually drops body fat percentage quickly. Muscle. Now here's where it becomes a little bit different from an ectomorph to a mesomorph. Mesomorphs, as I say, they're that five-tool athlete. They're that person that has the slightly bigger bone structure, but at the same time is able to add that muscle and keep the body fat percentage low. So we easily add muscle. As a mesomorph, you easily add muscle. If I learn how to spell. Easily add muscle. And as far as carbs, they also deal with the carbs very well. So if you have a mesomorph body type, it's actually fairly easy to stay in shape and stay on top of what you want to do and get the most out of your routines, because your body kind of helps you and works with you very well. So easily add and deal. Now once again, as far as the carbs, same as the metabolism. The metabolism was fast, but not as fast as the ectomorph. The mesomorph deals with carbs pretty well, but not as well as the ectomorph as well. So now we're on to the endomorph. Endomorph is a large bone structure, largest. But with that large bone structure comes a high body fat percentage. Naturally. They're not even looking for it. Even if they eat healthy, it's still, their body still wants to add on and put on that weight easily. It's like you're eating food, and every time you eat food, it's like, oh, gain a couple more pounds. And that's just how it works. Now, if you're thinking about an athlete or someone that we can relate to, you're thinking about like an offensive or defensive lineman. Think of like a Warren Sapp, who's a big, strong, competitive guy, but can still move his weight around. Also, you could think about any of the strongmen, like all the power lifters. Like you got like, thinking Eddie Hall. I don't know if anybody watches powerlifting, but you know, there's different guys. But almost all of them have that body type where they're a little bit big in the stomach. They're big, huge everywhere else. They have a lot of muscle, but at the same time, they're, you know, they got some extra weight to them. They're a little fat, but they're able to move that fat around because of all that muscle, because of all that heavy lifting they do. So their metabolism is slow. As we said, they have a high body fat percentage. That usually means that your metabolism isn't working as quickly to burn off that fat. Body fat percentage, how well do we drop it? Not too well, actually. We actually add, as an endomorph, you're going to add on body fat easily, unfortunately. And that's why we have to, if we're an endomorph body type, that's where we really have to pay attention to our nutrition. As far as muscle, though, even though it's hard to drop our body fat, it's really easy to pick up muscle and get strong when you have this much weight, because the more weight that you have behind you, the easier it is to lift things, right? We got all this weight in our body to move around all the time. So if I'm constantly moving, you know, upper 200 pounds, 300 pounds with my legs, just walking around, not even lifting, you're moving around that much weight every single day. That's insane if you think about it. It's crazy how much weight you're actually moving around day to day if you're this big of a person. And as far as carbs, we don't deal with them well as an endomorph. It's actually very hard for us to deal with them and hard to process them. Deal with poorly, hard to process. So we're sitting there thinking, all right, so now we have an idea. Why is this important? Well, if you understand what body type you are, you can add it to your routine. If you're an ectomorph and you're trying to build muscle, you know for a fact that it's really hard for you to build muscle, so you must take your nutrition to the next level. We got to add more protein. We got to add more calories. We have to make sure that our body is continually fueled up. You're basically going to be full all the time if you want to continually add and put on some weight. It's possible, it's just going to be very hard. A mesomorph, great for you. You have an athletic body type. But the thing is that if you just sit around, that if you've been adding muscle and going to the gym all the time and then you just decide to sit around and stop, you will add on body fat. You will get bigger in that aspect. So you're not like an ectomorph where you can just sit around and you're going to be, okay, I'm fine, you know, not exactly where I want to be with my body, but I'm not fat either. You will gain some weight that you don't want, some unwanted weight. And as far as an endomorph, we can add muscle easily. We can get to our strength. We can get to our goals. But if we're trying to lose that body fat, we really need to pay attention to our diet. We need to make sure that our nutrition's on point. We need to make sure that we're taking that extra step, not having too many cheat meals. I always talk about an 80-20 rule to stay on track. We might need to bump that up in the first couple months to like a 90-10 rule, only for the simple fact that if we really want to fast track ourselves towards our goals, we need to take it a step further because we have our body type working against us a little bit. So understand your body type. If you have any questions on what your body type is, you're not sure, this, that, and the third, please contact me. I'd love to help you out one-on-one. I have so many people on here that are, giving me questions, asking me things now, and it's nice to give back and be able to tell everybody the correct information. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. If you have any videos you want to see in the future that I haven't showed yet, please leave that as well. And if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that too. My name is Ronnie Petito with Petito's Performance Training Center. Until next time.